Hello, Internet friends, and welcome to Essentials of Circassian. I'm your instructor, John T. Amisha. This course is for everyone, whether you're new, know some basics, or even already fluent. In the next 10 minutes, we'll explore a series of micro-stories. These are short, simple narratives featuring 3 characters, me, you, and the on-screen character. You might feel overwhelmed at first, and that's okay. We'll go very slowly with plenty of practice and repetition. Now here's the secret. There's no memorization. We're going to get you to think in the language. It's a little bit like how you learn to ride a bike. It may feel a little awkward at first, but soon things are going to click very quickly and very naturally. Watch this video as often as needed. Feel free to pause and take notes whenever you need to. And please drop a comment if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them all. Now let's get started. So there's a lot on the screen. Let me walk you through what you see so that you don't get overwhelmed. In this micro story, we are going to build a series of short stories around the verb to have, yen, to have. There is a core kernel to the story, which is that the boy has a friend. Don't worry about the Circassian right now. What's most important is that you understand the structure of the screen. So the core of the story is that the boy has a friend. And you can see here, I've tried to provide transliteration. So if you want to pause and take notes, here is a suggested way of transliterating the Circassian. On every lesson in this screen, I will provide you with the proper way that I, you, or she, he, or it would say that verb as a statement, as a factual statement. Okay? In Circassian, there are no pronouns that are gendered. So the pronoun for he, or she, or it are all the same pronoun. Okay? So this is, to use grammatical terms, this is the first person singular, the second person singular, and the third person singular. We don't do plurals. We're not doing plurals in this course. In Circassian, there is a different verb form when you ask the question form of the verb. Now, this verb is a relatively simple verb, and so the question form is very similar to the statement form. And what you can see here is that I've tried to highlight in red what changes from the first, second, and third person singular by highlighting it in red, and I've left in blue what remains the same. In the question form, I've done a similar thing, and already what you can see is that we always are going to end our statements with this weird-looking character here, and of course, a question is going to end in a question mark. As we go through the story, I'm going to tell you that the boy has a friend, and I'm going to tell you that I have a plan. Okay? So I have a plan, and the boy has a friend. You have a question. That is your role in the story. You have a question. And the word for friend is just broken down here in the table for you. We're going to go through a series of exercises. And in those series of exercises, once I tell you each part of the story, I'm going to cycle back through the factual statements in Circassian, and I'm going to ask you yes or no questions. Does the boy have a friend? Yes. Do I have a friend? Unfortunately, in this story, no, I do not have a friend. I have a plan. So over here are a series of question and answer words that I will be using. Yes, the boy has a friend. No, the boy does not have a plan. We're going to show you how to negate verbs. You negate the verb by taking the question form and adding this to the end of the question form. We're going to use the word for who. We're going to use the word for what. and we're going to use the word for or. And the reason for this is, as we understand this story together, the questions I'm going to keep asking you to get you to think in the language are going to be yes/no questions, either or questions. Is it this or is it that? And then who or what questions. Okay? So to make this very, very simple, to make sure that you understand the methodology here, I'm going to stick with English. The boy has a friend. I have a plan. Do I have a friend? No. Do I have a plan? Yes. Does the boy have a plan? No. Does the boy have a friend? Yes. So that's the yes/no. And as you're listening at home, as you're following at home, if you're watching the video, great. If you're just listening to this while you're walking, that's fine too. Feel free to speak out loud, and feel free to use the simple yes or no question answers, or to try to make the entire statement together. So you could say no, or you could say no, the boy does not have a plan, as an example. We're going to do either or questions. Does the boy have a plan, or does the boy have a plan and a friend? And again, you can answer with just friend or plan, or you can make an entire statement. It's entirely up to you. So that's the yes/no, that's the either or. And then we're going to do who. Who has a friend? The boy. Who has a plan? I do. Jaunty, me, I do. What does the boy have? The boy has a friend. What do I have? I have a plan. So that covers this part of the screen. It covers this part of the screen. And it covers this part of the screen. And there's going to be two halves to the lesson. In the first half, we're going to go through the fact that the boy has a friend, I have a plan, you have a question. Then we're going to introduce these adjectives. So the boy has a small friend, I have a simple plan, and you have a big question. That is the story. Now, let's begin. So from here on out, I would advise you to navigate your eyes around the screen. I will not be pointing the mouse. I tried doing it. I don't have the motor coordination to do the narration and keep pointing everything everywhere and not make the video get all glitchy. So I would strongly, strongly, strongly advise you to look around the screen. Most of what I'm going to be speaking now is just purely Circassian. And I'm going to go faster than I would if this were a live lesson where I had actual students. And that's where this methodology evolved from. I've taught close to 3,000 people worldwide through Zoom classes, is because you can always pause the lesson if you so choose. So let's begin. Salem nibzau yes. The boy has a friend. Salem. Salem. The boy. The word for boy is sale, but when we say the boy, it is salem. Salem nibzau. 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 Nibzau means someone of the same age, which means friend. Salem nibzau yes. The boy has a friend. Now, we could also say ab. Ab is the pronoun that means he, she, or it. Salem nibzau yes. Ab nibzau yes. Sa. Sa. Sa plan CS. Sa plan CS. I have a plan. Salim nibzaw yes. Sa plan CS. Sa nibzaw sia. Hawa. Sa nibzaw siaqam. I do not have a friend. Salim plan ya. Does the boy have a plan? Salim plan ya. Hawa. No. Salim plan yaqam. The boy does not have a plan. Salim sit ya. What does the boy have? Salim sit ya. Plan hamra nibzaw. What does the boy have? A plan or a friend? Salim sit ya. Plan hamra nibzaw. Nibzaw. Friend. Salim nibzaw yes. Khat nibzaw ya. Who has a friend? Khat nibzaw ya. Who has a friend? Salim. Salim nibzaw yes. The boy. The boy has a friend. Khat plan ya. Who has a plan? Khat plan ya. Sa, me or I. Sa plan CS. Sa plan CS. Wa, you. Wa. Wa, whoopsa, we us. Wa, you. Whoopsa. Whoop. Whoop. Sa. Whoopsa. Question. So let's pause. We now have made 3 statements. We have 3 little micro stories. Salim nibzaw yes. The boy has a friend. Sa plan CS. I have a plan. Wa whoopsa we us. You have a question. Okay? So let's do a little bit of practice. Salim plan ya. Does the boy have a plan? Salim plan ya. Hawa. Hawa. Salim plan yaqam. Salim whoopsa ya. Does the boy have a question? Ab whoopsa ya. Does he have a question? Hawa. Hawa. Ab whoopsa yaqam. No, he does not have a question. Hawa. Salim whoopsa yaqam. No, the boy does not have a question. Salim nibzaw ya. Does the boy have a friend? Ab nibzaw ya. Does he have a friend? Anta. Anta. Salim nibzaw yes. Sa. Sa nibzaw sia. Do I have a friend? In this story, no, I don't have a friend. Hawa. Sa nibzaw siaqam. Sa nibzaw siaqam. Sa whoopsa sia. Do I have a question? Sa whoopsa sia aqam. No, I do not have a question. Sa wupsa si'aqam. Sa plan si'a. Do I have a plan? Nta. Yes. Sa plan si'as. Sit si'a. What do I have? Sit si'a. Plan hamra nabzogh. A plan or a friend. Sit si'a. Plan hamra nabzogh. Plan. Sa plan si'as. Salim sit yi'a. Wupsa hamra nabzogh. What does the boy have? A question or a friend? Sit salim yi'a. What does the boy have? Nabzogh hamra wupsa. A friend or a question? Wupsa. Salim. I'm sorry. No. The boy does not have a question. Nabzogh. Salim nabzogh ya'as. The boy has a friend. Ya'a. Who has a friend? Salim. The boy. Salim nabzogh ya'as. Khat wupsa ya'a. Who has a question? Khat wupsa ya'a. Wa. You. Wa. Wa wupsa wi'as. You have a question. Who has a plan? Sa. Me or I. Sa plan si'as. Sit si'a. What do I have? Sit si'a. Plan. Plan. Sa plan si'as. I have a plan. Sit salim yi'a. Sit ab yi'a. What does he have? Nabzogh. A friend. Salim nabzogh ya'as. He has a friend. Sit wa wi'a. What do you have? Sit wa wi'a. Wupsa. A question. Wa wupsa wi'as. Okay? Let's now move on to the adjectives. Tuk. Little. Salim nabzogh tuk ya'as. Salim nabzogh tuk ya'as. The boy has a little friend. Tunsh. Simple. Tunsh. Sa plan tunsh si'as. I have a simple plan. Sa plan tunsh si'as. I have a simple plan. Sit si'a. What do I have? Plan tuk hamra plan tunsh. Do I have a little plan or do I have a simple plan? Plan tunsh. Sa plan tunsh si'as. I have a simple plan. Plan tuk si'a. Do I have a little plan? Hawa. No. Hawa. Sa plan tuk si'aqam. Sa plan tunsh si'as. Salim nabzogh tunsh ya'a. This is not something native people would say, just for the record, but you're still learning. It's not unnatural. It's just not common. But let's keep going. Salim nabzogh tunsh ya'a. Hawa. No, the boy does not have a simple friend. Hawa. S'alem nibzawtnsh ya'aqam. S'alem nibzawtsuk ya'as. S'alem nibzawtsuk ya'a. Does the boy have a little friend? Nta. S'alem nibzawtsuk ya'as. What does the boy have? S'alem sit ya'a. Nibzawtsuk. A little friend. S'alem nibzawtsuk ya'as. What do I have? Sit si'a. I'm sorry. I don't have the question. Plan tunsh. Plan tunsh. Sa plan tunsh si'as. Sa plan tunsh si'as. Wa whoopsa yin wi'a. Do you have a big question? Whoopsa yin wi'a. Nta. Nta. Wa whoops wi'as. Yes, you have a big question. By the way, this is another example. Native speakers would probably not say whoopsa yin. There's a different way that we would probably say this. Drop it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. If you have a question as to why we're using this form instead of the other form that I'm not getting into right now, ask a question. I'm happy to answer in the comments. I just don't want to get into it right here and now. Nibzaw yin wi'a. Do you have a big friend? Hawa. No. Nibzaw yin wi'aqam. Wa whoopsa yin wi'as. Now, if you are saying this for yourself, this is in every language. If I'm speaking to you, I say, you have a big question. Wa whoopsa yin wi'as, because I'm speaking to you. But if you are speaking to me, you're not going to refer to yourself as you. You're going to refer to yourself as I. So why don't you go ahead and try saying, as the individual speaker, I have a big question. Take a moment, pause the video if you need to think about it. So the way you would say this is sa whoopsa yin si'as. I have a big question. That's how you would say it. I think I'm going to wrap up the lesson here. This is my first attempt at taking my live lesson classes and putting them into an asynchronous format here on YouTube. Again, all of the information that you need to make the statements in these micro stories, to ask questions or to answer those questions, are here on the screen. You can watch this video as often as you need for practice. You can take notes and you can practice on your own. You can take a screen snapshot and practice with a friend. You can listen to the video if you're not able to watch the video. And of course, you can always ask me questions in the comments. If you've made it this far to the end, congratulations. And please, your feedback is super, super helpful. Anything that you can tell me about how to make these videos different or better is really, really welcome. So thank you, and I hope to see you in the next video.